Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com webinar live recap. I am AJ. I'm your host for the next 15, 17 minutes. I just got done doing a secret sauce session. We call it secret sauce session because what I do is um, it's really important in this great chat room. It's one of the things I really preach in here is just education. And education to the point where somebody is learning something. When I come in because you have to understand, I'm up 2.5 hours before the market even opens. And when I mean, this is my life. My life is to produce a product um, that that really stands out among all the other rooms in the world. I, I I get up and I just study and I read reports. Earnings season is a very busy season for me, and I'm really good at it, and I'm getting better at it. I'm not perfect. I have a ways to go. Um, if I was perfect, I would have been 100% today, but I was only 90 to 95% today. Um, but I was really good at that 95%. I had 13 ideas, and maybe two didn't really hit what I really wanted. Maybe they sold off, like ALGN kind of sold off a little bit more than I thought. But for the most part, the trades just really, 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 really worked. And I was really impressed with the calls today. Um, Oliver, just I'm in the middle of a speech. Can you just give me your Twitter feed and I can hit a DM after I'm done? So my thing is today we played a lot of earnings. I threw in a couple analyst calls in there which were really, really good, and I'll share them with you. But for the most part, we had a lot of fun. We also had several IPOs today, which the IPO crew will highlight. I believe I'll give you some of the names that were traded today. Um, IPOs. We traded, I believe it was HCAT, and I believe there was another one, LVGO. Um, but HCAT was a big winner in the chat room, and I was really impressed with that. But I'm going to go into a couple of good quality trades that were able to give traders a lot of money. And a lot of this is just really doing research, reading through the reports and understanding them significantly to where you can actually place, like, this is the stock that's going to do this, this is the stock that's do that. So I'm going to start with OII. I couldn't find any small cap stocks, any bio plays that were kind of a messy. I usually like to get those where they pop like $2 and then I fade them all day. Today there really wasn't too many around, but I made OII the number one pick because it was a cheap stock. It was $19, and I felt the short sellers would still have something to play. I read the report this morning on OII on the earnings miss, and I made the decision that the stock would most likely have a little quick short cover at the open to 18, and when it does, it would probably sell off all the way down to 16 and under. And I was actually even looking as low as 15. So I want you to see the trade. The earnings report was a disaster. I did not like it, so I called OII to pop at the open to 18, as you can see. Here's how it opened. Ding, 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 ding. And it hit 18 right at the open. There were no MMs on it, so when the market, they were actually not even reflecting anything. So I said, well, most likely just pop at 18. As soon as it does, scale in short and just write it all the way down. And it hit 16 within 2.5 hours of the market opening, and now it's almost 15. Really a great short. If you were a short seller in here, you would have had just a wonderful day in here. On 2,000 shares, would have made about probably $4,000 on this trade today, with 34,000 buying power. Really nice trade. Really nice trade. The next one I did was XLNX. I wanted to highlight to you. Now, XLNX was a great earnings play. And what I did on this one is, after reading the report, I just, when you really read through the report, I didn't see any justification for the stock being down 20 points. I actually felt that the stock would probably pull at the open towards 124, and they would bounce probably close to 130. And I want you to see how I wrote it up for everyone in the chat room. I said it right here. LXNX. This will actually sell off probably at the open to 124. Even though it's gapping down 6, look for the pull to 124. When it comes, I want you to go long and begin a position. So if you're scaling in 300, 400 shares, then you would start with 150 to 200. And if it pulled to 122, you simply add to your position, and then the stock, and look for the stock to rebound about 5 to 6 points from there. And I was very clear on this call what it was going to do. The earnings report kind of told me everything, and that's exactly what I did. So I came in the chat room, I wrote it down. The opening bell hit, and the stock came down to $124.20 and proceeded to go through 129 to 131. Turned out to be a magnificent 7-point trade. It was live in the room, well executed, well done. Next trade that we did, which was really terrific, um, was a stock called Dish. Now, Dish got a downgrade today. And normally I don't give highlights to a stock like an analyst the way this one came out, but I want you to see something why I picked it up, okay? So when I go to my scan this morning, if you punch up Dish right here, you'll see it was highlighted that on today, um, this company called Moffett Nation. I know not Moffett Nathanson, and all of you never heard of it. They're a boutique. They're a small boutique. And they came in here really strong, and they actually put a sell rating on the stock. And I believe um, this report doesn't. I have so many reports on them. They actually put a $30. There it is. The analyst himself, the owner of the company, he came out, Craig Moffett, and he came and put a $30 price target. Now, again, normally on a small boutique, I don't give a lot of credit to them, but because the $30 stood out to me and the stock was gapping down, I felt even with the market being up a little bit, we would get a nice sell-off on the stock. My idea was, what I did is I looked at the stock and it closed around $41 yesterday, or $42, and it was gapping down under 40. So I told traders, listen, this is going to go. The way to play this is set this up for a nice fader. It's just simply, and I'll show you how I wrote it. It was really well written. It was like a nice script how to play it, and so um, it was right here. Dish. All right. If this gap fills back to 41 at the open, I want you to scale in short, and I want you to take the stock down to 39 and under. The stock will hit 39, but I need you to get in there at 41 first. All right. If it pulled to 39 at the open, then the stock would rebound back to 41. Okay, because it closed at 41.56. So I figured I'd get a short cover squeeze. Blake, you're beyond just hit 222. So if you're in that, you could take some profit on that one. That should have gave you at least $75 on 100 shares. All right. So so I was looking for a pop at the open and then a sell off to 39. So I want you to see how that one worked. And here's Dish. Here it was the gap down this morning. I told everyone the stock will pop at the open to 41. And when it does, it'll go to 39. And ding, 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 ding. Here's the market. See how it opened? And here's it hit $40.90 and came down all the way to 39. And the buyer came in and supported it. And there you go. And that's how you played a Dish today. The next stock that we did on our list was MMM. Now, MMM actually rewarded traders a lot more money than I even anticipated. I made this clear this morning from pre-market on. You need to short MMM. So much so, I said start shorting at 188. I gave it room to 190 at the open. And the reason is, what you all don't know when you listen to these webinars is the countless hours of preparation I do in reading these reports. I've been doing this for 16 years of my life. Okay. I read earning reports like you read a book, like you read a nice magazine. I salivate. I mean, I drool over earnings reports. I know it sounds weird, but that's my life because I want to be right. I want to be perfect on my calls. When I read MMM this morning, I really felt very strongly that the stock would sell off. They didn't do enough to impress a big push or win on the stock. And one thing you have to always pay attention to as a day trader, when you're making a call like that, you have to look at the last 20 days how the stock was done. And you can clearly see it was bought into the earnings. When I see that, attached to was a report that I'm not impressed with, I go ahead and want to short the stock and I want to see some massive profit taking. So today's call was, if you come to the report that I did, the analyst report that I put together for everyone in the room for $6 a day, says right here, MMM. MMM. Short here, 188. Room to 190. The stock will collapse to 183 and under. Okay? 188, 183. You see how quickly you could have got paid on 183? Look at that. So if you had 200 shares short on my 188 entry, guess what? You made $1,000 in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. See the collapse 5 points? 2 minutes and 30 seconds, $1,000. And then it just proceeded to sell off. And I think whatever was said in the call did not help the stock at all. Hence the sell off. And a lot massive profit taking, which we did anticipate. Wonderful trade. MMM. Next stock that we did today was a stock called OII, XLX Dish. Oh, Tree. This was the beautiful one. Now, Tree is a $410, $420 stock. When I woke up this morning, I saw it down 7%, and I just smiled. I told myself, I got to read the report, got to read the report, got to read the report. It was actually the first report that I read. And once I read it, it told me how to trade it. Now, I did want to buy the stock. Mr. Purdue, you remember playing this before too, and I smiled. Yeah, I saw this and I just went. I couldn't stop smiling because I knew it was going to be a winner in the room. But I had to tell the traders, and this is really important. Just because I see something, this is a very expensive stock, and it's very thin, and you must be patient on this trade. You have to be. All right, this is not for the faint of heart. This isn't for newbies. This isn't for the guy who wants to, hey, I want to see if I can do that. This is big league, okay? Because if you can't stomach 5 or 6 points being down, you have no business trading this stock. You're down 63 points, okay? I felt after reading the report that the stock would go between 365 and 375. I want you to listen to what I said. The stock would rebound 365. Now, I didn't care if it pulled to 335, 340. I didn't care about the 10 points being down if you bought at 350. It didn't bother me because I saw 365, 375 bounce. That's what I saw. I felt it would bounce 20, and I even specifically said this. This will bounce 20 to 30 points. Imagine that. It's like it's really weird. You're in a fucking room of a guy's actually mapping out a trade, and the thing hasn't even fucking traded yet. And you're going, how the fuck do you see 20 to 30 point bounce? You haven't even traded the damn. It's not the market's not even open. That's this. I don't know. It's because you're in the greatest fucking chat room in the world. What do you want me to tell you? I mean, this is not what you pay me for. I mean, I earned my $6 a day, right? So you're gonna tell me if I take 50 shares and I bounce 20, I'm gonna make $1,000? Yeah, I'm telling. Yeah, yeah, I guess. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I mean, the shit is the shit, right? This thing bounced 40 points. It's just, it actually bounced 30. What, 30 points? Yeah, 30 points. It just, you want to see it? It was the shit. So I wanted a long here at 350, right? Room to 335, which is right here. See that 335? Your average would have been right here, about 340. If you had held that average, guess what you got? That's right, 367 a share. You could have cashed out at 355. Remember I said 340 average, you're going to make 20 points. That's a 15-point move just right there. Do you know how exciting this was to play this? I got in, I believe it was right here. I made $955. Do you know how exciting this was? Did you see my Twitter feed today? Did you see it? Did you see the excitement the room had? People that have never traded tree in their life were trading tree for the first time. Johnny traded tree. Ken traded tree. All right. Look at JT today. In her life, never traded a tree. Today, she took 11 points for 250. Mr. Purdue, first time in his life, never traded tree. Scored. I had screenshot after screenshot after. Look at this tree. Look at Mike Purdue. Look at his entries. You see that? No, he had no fear. None. And he was playing with just 10 shares and he still banked. I mean, solo. Tree, Ken Hudson, 7 points on Tree alone. Yes, is it a scary stock? If you don't know how to trade it or you don't have that guidance, all right? And it was on my list this morning right here. You see it? I gave it to you in pre-market. I was going to play Tree. But I want you to understand something, and let's be very clear, all right? This took me 16 years to get to this level. This shit doesn't happen overnight. I had to earn this. In my beginning years, I couldn't trade this worth shit. Today, I can guide traders into the money. That's what I did today on that one. Okay. Another trade we did today was PTC. I really like this stock today. I was reading the report, and it was gapping down quite a bit. You can see 78 to 92. That's a huge miss. So after reading the report, I told traders in the morning, look, I felt comfortable that PTC would probably sell off at the open to about $74 a share. And then I wanted to bounce. If it squeezed at the open, then I felt that it would probably hit 80 and then sell off. I wanted traders to nibble a little bit long, but give it room to flush out, and then you could bounce the trade. PTC pretty much kind of worked. Not as specific as I really wanted to. If you look at it, if you did get in around the 76, at the opening, even if you tried to click a 76 entry, it would have still pulled you. You probably would have ended up around 75 fills. And then it bounced to 73, which gave you a 74 average, and the stock actually did rebound a little bit. It was one of those quite quick trades, but it wasn't as crisp as I wanted it to. But overall, we did pretty good on that one. I like that one. Another one we did was Tesla. Now, Tesla got beat up yesterday from today, and the reason why Tesla got hurt was that their numbers, they just disappointed. But one thing you have to know is Tesla's not going to zero. You really need to understand that stock. It's not. It's an iconic stock. It's one of a kind. It's not going to zero, so everyone needs to stop thinking like that. It's not. Okay? So now you're going to get a short sell off. Yes, you are, because you disappointed investors, but you're gonna mostly watch for that squeeze. So what I did on Tesla this morning, and I said this, I looked at the report and I made the decision that I was looking for a 235. I think it was 230. I think. Let me double check what I said here. Tesla. I said that this would pull to 230 at the open or under. When it does, it should give us a nice bounce on that stock. So 230, I was looking for a 240. I'm looking for a 10-point bounce. Remember, Tesla always recoups when it's down huge. So I really wanted traders to keep that in mind. So I was looking for that 230 pull at the open, and then I wanted shorts to cover it and squeeze it. So I want you to see how it opened. It was a really nice play once you understood that the stock was going to sell off. As soon as it opened, ding, 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 it popped a little bit, which I did anticipate, and then here came the sell off. I think I was looking for that 234 pop. Hold on, Tesla. I wanted actually to long, pop it, and then start to pull it, and then bottom curl and go long. So I want you to see how this one worked. Okay, and it popped, hit almost 234.50, stopped. Here comes the sell off. So there was at 235, I believe, at 230, you couldn't buy the stock at 230. It was falling at 230. And that's why I said, let's let it pull. Once it pulled, it found a base around 226 to 27. And then from there, you could long the stock. And the stock bounced all the way up to 232. So as long as you gave it room, you played small, you allowed yourself. Now, on the short side, I think Kimberly Park made over 2 Gs on this stock. She shorted I think 300 shares, and it just pulled right at the open and nailed it. She didn't cover at 230. You didn't need to. The first covers were right here around 227. Overall, it was a really good play. Really good play. And last but not least was a stock that really nobody even played today except us was Activision. Activision, this was an analyst call today, and I saw it, and it was gapping up. B of A, which is a tier one firm. And I was looking at it and I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and play this today. I'll make this to 13. I normally do 12 calls, but I couldn't bypass an easy trade like Activision. You're gapping up thin. Again, remember that word, thin. And so if you're gapping up thin like that, the first thing I'm going to do is the thinner it gaps up, the more it sells off. So I said to everyone, go short the stock, pre-market 48, 47.50, 47, and just let it flush to 47 and under at the open, bottom curl, and go long. And that was the trade. Really a nice setup, really effortless. You didn't have to, um, there really wasn't much to worry about. It was just kind of one of those trades you just kind of gapping up a buck 20. Uh, any pop at the open to 48, 40, 50, short the stock, take it to 47 under, bottom curl, move back to 48.50. I mean, it's one of those trades you just kind of, it's boring, but it's money. And if you look, 48 and 48, it didn't hit 48.50, but hit the 48 and just sold right off. So for somebody coming in here that only had 3-4 minutes to trade, maybe 5 minutes to trade, 10 minutes to trade, you made your money real fast. You got the initial pull of 50 cents and got the rest on the rest. Really nice. And then I just want to give a highlight and a shout out to this IPO today from JT. Um, she came in with James, and the two of them. We have two great IPO uh, traders in here. I think it was Lavgo was the other one. Let me put them both up. Is it Lavgo? Not Lavgo. Yeah, it was 45 at the open. I remember that. And HCAT. And these trades were well executed in the room. Max Farm, I believe, played them. He just announced it in the room. He liked these two. JT and James. Uh, Uh, they do a lot of research for us on the IPOs, and they were prepping us all week. And then today they highlighted in the morning what they were looking for, and as soon as they opened, they were going long the shares. When it opened on both, I did mention just take 100 shares. You don't need to go 200, 500. Just take enough, get your feet wet. And both of these stocks ran 37 to 40, and then I believe James and JT both got out at $40 a share. So that turned out to be a solid winner. And then Lavgo, they went long at 41. I believe at the opening, they took it 41.50 and 41, and they walked it up in the chat room to 45, and then they were done with it. Really two great IPOs. They stayed away from, I think, was it Pros? I don't know if they liked that one. They weren't happy with the opening. They didn't open up too much, and I think they stayed away from CSTL. I don't know. Let me double check. Yeah, it did pull at the opening. Kind of a disaster at the opening from 21 to 17. Would have shook anybody out, but it did recoup. Hindsight looks good now, but when it was happening, this was not an IPO to be a part of. and it was really trading thin. It opened up only with 491,000 shares, so not really impressive on that. You want to open up with like 20-25% if you can. When you open up at 10% and less of your float, it's not really good. Anyway, hey, we had a lot to do today. It was fun. It was exciting. A lot on our list. A lot of fun. Dish, Netgear, all that. Just it was a good day to trade today. It was fun. Not everybody was green. Obviously, we're still working our kinks out for traders that are not catching it, chasing it. It's a process, but for the most part, everything was mapped out and done very, very well this morning. So I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. If you want to be a part of our great, great chat room, just join us. Click here, and you are in the website. Scroll down, and welcome to awesomecallstrading.com. And I will see you tomorrow and trade with you and surround yourself with success. Thank you so much and take care. God bless. Bye-bye.